This was also not the social media era.
No.
So a lot of the details were not there. And finding these people that just love, that are passionate about this franchise, I honestly hope that we're doing them a service by talking about the film, because there are people that even love this movie. They can recognize the flaws and move forward.
To me, that's exactly it. Film is not perfect. Even my favorite films, if I'm gonna claim three, and I'm only going to claim three: Star Wars, Jaws, and Citizen Kane. Those are my three favorite films of all time. Are not perfect. Even Citizen Kane, considered to be the greatest film of all time for its introduction to so many aspects of modern cinematic language, is not perfect. And I think that's what this podcast is supposed to be. We're not here. Listen, if that's why you came here was to hear one of the three of us to hear you pontificate over
on the movie.
I want to be armed with all the knowledge. Like
I do too, to an extent.
I watched an interview today with Linda Harrison and Pedro Colley Angino. Wait,
make sure to say that right.
Negro. What's his name? Shit.
Negro.
Oh,
in what it was? Now you're making me say it wrong.
Damn it.
Angelo.
Angelo.
Yes,
I watched an interview with the two of them, and I watched them talk about this whole moment.
I'm actually should stop you. I know how to say that name right, but you struggle with it so much that even I can't. Yes, I was like, shit.
Don't you remember, Richard? It's Angelo again.
Angelo again. So I watched an interview with them, and it was just so fascinating to like see them. Like, and I'm now delving. Like, I love these films, but now I'm delving into the minutia of who they are, what the motivation was, and I kind of want to go back. Okay, so we read
Who's your daddy, and what does he do?
We read this book, The Planet of the Apes Visionaries, which was Rod Serling's original script.
Yep.
And it'd be fun to talk about it.
Did you finally read that?
Yeah, but I would like to have read it before I watched the movie and talked with you guys. I wish I had seen, my eyes are being opened to like this new reality of what this film franchise is.
But I think reading that book and then watching it, the movie, would have been similar to reading Wanted by Mark Miller and then watching the movie Wanted that wasn't by Mark Miller.
True.
And they would be two different things.
To be fair to people who don't know, there's actually a comic book out there by Dana Gould, and does anyone remember the artist's name?
No.
It's sitting right there on my desk at home, and I'm so sorry to that artist. We apologize. We'll make sure we actually tag you in this. What they actually did was take Rod Serling's original script that was turned in, and they treated it was a pretty faithful adaptation of Pierre Boulle's original novel,
where the apes are like civilized, wearing human suits, living in human cities, driving cars.
And as you watch it, you can see so many aspects of the film that eventually ends up on the screen, but to
a lesser degree.
They strip out all the modern nature of it, but it's so good. And Sean and I, before you had a chance to read it, Richard, Sean texted me and said, "Oh my God, that beautiful dark ending." That's how dark endings can be good. So I'm telling you right now, come to ZeusComics.com.
Get Planet Visionaries with Rod Serling's original script, brought to life by Dana Gould and the artist we can't remember.
I'm not kidding you. It is a beautiful thing that I literally finished it. I went and made another cup of coffee, and I came back and read it again because I was like, that is the way that this film probably should have been. Now, I can understand if you're trying to put a character in a world that's foreign, why they took out the modern conventions of it, because it does immediately strip away and it says, I don't know where I am anymore. But it's beautifully done.
I will say
Chad Lewis.
I will say
that's
this.
right. I did.
I will say this. Planet of the Apes had much more of a vision than Beneath.
Yes.
Beneath had an idea
that was quickly executed.
And that idea was to get money.
Now, as a kid, as an adult watching it now, knowing there's more in the franchise, I can watch more going forward. I can't be negative. Had I been at that moment in 1971 watching this film, I would have been pissed. Like knowing now in retrospect what it would spawn and where it would go, I can go back and kind of lovingly watch the film. See, at the time I would have been mad.
I don't know if I can. I've literally gone back and thought, okay, now that I know this movie minute by minute, I don't know that I can. I don't know that I can watch it again.
I I will not be watching this movie again. I
No?
can put it to you that way. No, I don't need to go back and watch it all the way through because the first half is the first movie, so I don't want to waste 45 minutes of my life watching a watered-down version of Planet of the Apes.
And I do think that the next two movies are so much stronger than this one.
Speaking of which, at some point, you can show me a trailer?
Oh, that's true. We're at 33 minutes in,
so
and we've
let's
been
do
going
this.
on, and I
I'm
know we
walking
can
over
do
to
this
your
all.
mic.
Well, okay, can I say something that
Yes.
I have some notes.
Okay.
I have some notes that I didn't talk
I'm
about.
going to say something loving to you. Come here. I'm going to slap you on the... do me a favor. You say what you want to say, but because I will edit in so that everyone can hear the trailer, I need you to go find a YouTube clip of the Escape from the Planet of the
I'll go
Apes,
find it,
so that Sean can watch it.
Yeah.
Watch it on his phone.
What?
Because
We have phones.
everybody
Phones
be
of the
patient with
future.
us. So here's what I promise you, actually. For Escape from the Planet of the Apes, I already told the guys tonight, I have invested in a piece of software that's going to let us do this live production so we can watch these things together. This is the last time we're going to do Let's Watch It on a Phone, and I'll put the audio in, mixing it so you hear it later.
So
Now, I do want to warn this before we get there. I watched the trailer for Escape from Planet of the Apes, and lordy, you think that Beneath revealed a lot to you?
All right.
Escape shows you a lot. Are you sure you want to watch a trailer?
Well, I mean, they decided it was good enough to put out. So
Okay.
I'll watch it. That's their marketing decision.
All I ask is stay in your microphone so I can
I
hear
was
your
back there a
comments.
little way.
Yeah.
So you mentioned last minute the narrator at the end. It was supposed to be at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
It was supposed to start the film. That was John Freeze. He's a voice actor. He's also done some other acting stuff. But you guys will find this hilarious. He was Ludwig von Drake, the duck, in the Wonderful World of Disney from 1961 to 1986.
Really?
That's who he was. He was the duck. He also played Carr in the Knight Rider episode Kit versus Carr.
Carr was like the evil kid.
I never watched.
He was one
Knight Rider.
episode.
Yes.
He was also in several Rankin Bass films, and he famously played Santa Claus and Jack Frost, and Santa Claus and Rudolph's Shiny New Year. So when you hear that narrator, you'll recognize him from some classic properties for voiceovers. He did a little bit of acting, but mostly he was just a voiceover actor.
Interesting. Okay, Sean, are you ready to watch the trailer?
Yes, I've
All right.
got it.
So
I'm
here we
ready.
go. 3, 2.
This is Dr. Zero.
Oh, what is
her
this
loving
family
husband,
portrait here?
Cornelius, and little Milo.
They're so cute. I love
Most
them.
Milo.
dangerous to man is little Milo.
Zoom in.
Why?
He's the
Time
most
is
dangerous to me.
1973. The place is right here on Earth. How did they get here? What is their reception?
Welcome, gentlemen, to the United
That's the goofiest. Was that Jack Nicholson?
Escape from the planet of the apes.
What?
Their adventures are completely
They are
fresh,
taking this awfully
completely
calmly.
new, astonishingly different from what you experienced.
What I like
in
is
Planet
that
of Apes and
the
beneath
astronaut
the
uniforms
Planet of
fit
the
apes just perfectly.
Perfectly,
At first
yes.
feared and imprisoned.
And they have their Planet of the Apes clothes that they brought with them too.
I'm going to go ahead and throw it out. You realize who that woman is?
Who?
That's Albina.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Wait, what?
That's Albina. She was the one that's the spouse of one of the producers. I forget which one now, but she ends up in all the films going forward.
Well, why doesn't she take?
I'm allergic to bananas.
I loathe bananas.
I was close.
Zero, are you mad? Till we know who our friends are and who our enemies
I guess
How in
that's
the
the
name
first
of
time
God
they
are we
talk
to
then.
know
We have
that?
Roddy
I'm so
McDowell
happy he's
again.
back. So
Yeah.
happy he's
Me
back.
too. He's so much better.
So who's the third one supposed to be? Lucius?
No, it's actually Sal Mineo from Rebel Without a Cause.
These animals
Oh,
can
it
hate
is
monkeys.
Sal
Board of
Goodness.
Inquiry.
But poor Sal Mineo had like a severe claustrophobic reaction
Have
to
you
makeup.
ever been a member of the Ape Party?
Embraced by our civilization, the nation gives
So
them
you
a
basically
hero's
know
welcome.
that they end up back in our...
Yeah.
It's a flip of the first film.
Yeah, basically. But people just accept this way too easily.
Well, at 3 minutes, yes, they did.
No, what I'm saying is they would never be allowed in public. The government would have them secreted away forever and
True.
dissect
Very
them.
wet.
True.
It's certainly the most incredible
There is
story
not
this
one
reporter
chance they'd
has
get
ever
out in the
covered.
public.
And you
So for
share the
film,
impact of
fans
every
of
incredible
soap operas, also the man here that you see right there
Yeah.
is one of the bad guys on Young and the Restless and has been there for years and years and years.
Ah.
The president's
Victor
chief
something. I
advisor
forget what his
wants
last
them
name is.
murdered, or else the
Victor
human
is as
race
far as the
cannot
character on
survive.
Young and the Restless.
Why can't the human race survive unless they're murdered? What the hell?
Birth of an infant who
So here's a
confronts
question.
man's
So you
very
watch the first one, you watch the second one, everybody dies.
That makeup is good on that
Would you
little
want to go
kid.
see this movie?
So that's actually where
She's kissing another human.
Well, and so I'm telling you, we get the same motifs, and it is that reverse motif.
We got Ricardo Montalban in
Yes,
this.
we do.
Yes.
Oh, he is so wonderful.
Look at that kick to the door.
That was one of the things was, do people want to see that?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the question. Like, they destroyed everything, and now we've got this moment where they're back in our time.
But you got to find a way to put them back. You've
want that
already
baby.
blown the world up. Oh, super
What is that?
baby. What
I
is
know.
that?
Yeah. It's a horrifying giant monster baby. She was going to trip on that baby.
All right, that's it, Sean.
Holy crap.
It's
I will promise you this. This film is infinitely sweeter, more charming, has more to say.
well, it was able to spawn 2 more films after it, so clearly it does its job. But I have to say, coming off that ending, I'd be pissed.
I mean, the only thing I can say, not literally knowing the last bit of information I know is that there's time travel because they come to the past.
Right.
Unless the next couple of movies are either just now expanding the whole information over centuries or something to say, here's how the apes actually rose up, and you see the change between man and apes, and maybe you actually see man destroying themselves and stuff. I'm not exactly sure where the movies are going to go, because I don't see them traveling back to the future again, and all of a sudden the world has changed because they made some tiny change back in the past.
So are they traveling back to the past to stop the future?
I don't know.
We'll find out.
There was a text, or not a text, a telegram, because that was the era.
Mm-hmm.
While it received mixed critical review notices, the film grossed nearly as much as The Planet of the Apes and delighted audiences worldwide. Shortly afterward in England, writer Paul Dane received a simple telegram, "Apes live, sequel required."
From Arthur P. Jacobs himself. So, in other words, we blew everybody up, but we made a lot of money. You got to figure out how to bring this back.
Yeah, I mean...
So who do you go to? You've destroyed the film.
I mean, the only thing I can think
Zero
is...
are so unique to come back to.
Well, I think
they're the only other characters that we have been introduced to besides Lucius or some of the members of the council, and they're not going to do them.
And they're also the only characters we did not see immediately in the vicinity of the bomb. So we can make a story that has something to do with what we don't see.
Which makes me think
we saw Nova and Brent and Taylor so horribly killed.
They're permanently dead. Yeah, know they are dead.
They're dead.
Right. I mean, even if we come back a little bit in time to move Zero and Cornelius forward, you can't, because what was brought there, you can't go forward.
No.
The only thing I can think is they dredge the lake and get the ship out of there and somehow retrofit that to be able to. And what we have always talked about of what was the ultimate goal of going so far into the future if you can never report anything back, is that mean that they actually have a way to go back, and the ship, the first one that came through crashed and the second one crashed on land, so I don't know.
Sean, I have a way to answer that.
Let's watch the movie?
Let's watch the next movie.
Okay. Let's do this.
That's the best we can do is go to Escape from Planet of the Apes.
I'm going to wash this movie out of my hair.
Hang on.
You have no hair, Sean.
Shut up.
All three in the middle, my friends.
Cheers.
That's 2 movies down.
Clink. Clink.
That's it.
Let's go.
That's the end of Beneath the Planet of the Apes. We're going to go treat ourselves to a nice dinner. Where are we eating?
Mario's.
Salvadorian. We haven't eaten all week.
Oh my God, I'm starving.
I know.
We're going to go. We will see you back. As long as we get this done, we will be back here next week. We are not going to take any time off between the two. As far as you're concerned, you will hear us right after that.
No in between this week.
No in between, but we will see you guys next week. For Sean, for Richard and Sean, I'm Todd. See you.
Bye.
Beneath the Minute of the Apes. Beneath the Minute of the Apes. Beneath the Minute of the Apes.
The only good human is a dead human.